Let's take a breath together, everyone. And thank you so much for showing up. Thank you everyone for being so punctual. This is a work that I'm going to say I like to do on the full moon, but in truth and reality, I haven't done it on the full moon for about 3 or 4 months. So that wouldn't be quite true. But when I get to do it, I like to do it on the full moon. And the reason for that is the full moon is a very powerful energy. A very loud and powerful energy. And I was thinking about this morning, and for this type of work, even though I do it on the full moon, I'm not super interested in I'm not actually particularly interested in what the astrology of the day is. And I want to explain why, because I don't mean it, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but it's like, let's say we want to go somewhere in our car, we get the tank full of gas, so we can go technically anywhere we want we can technically go 4 hours in any direction. I'm not super interested in where the gas was refined or where it came from. I'm interested that I have the potential to do something, to make something happen. Indeed, yes, we're in Sagittarius right now, but let me back up a bit. There is been feeling this moon for 2 or 3 days. Now, how it moves through me is I tend to get very agitated. I don't sleep well. I'm saying how it moves through me because I don't think that's the case for everyone. Like, I'm sure there's got to be 2 or 3 people listening right now like, oh, I feel great, thanks. Maybe more of us having a similar experience to myself. But I'm not going to assume that everyone's having the same experience. There's so much moving. Speaking to Lewis this morning, who is on the call, and I'm going to have him speak a little later on. And he called me about 7 this morning, and he said, "How are you doing?" I said, "I'm just a lot going on and packing and all of this." And he said to me, "Look for the Easter eggs today." Meaning be more present, which is funny because I actually did find some Easter eggs. I overbought back in April, and I'm going to have Easter eggs for if anyone wants to come around and have Easter eggs. I have so many Easter eggs. But anyway, I'm going to share that. I'm in the basement here. This is my treatment room, and so I had some readings this morning. And when the kids are out, I prefer to do readings upstairs. But I came down here. I'm like, this feels different. This feels right. And I realized, because I'm kind of underground here, just about, I had a bit of space and distance from collective mind. And on the full moon, the collective mind is loud. And if I'm saying collective mind, I'm part of that, and you're all part of that. But it's just, it gets amplified. And in that, it's a little more challenging because it's all getting stirred up, because it's supposed to be getting stirred up, a little more challenging to keep one's focus and so on. People I've been speaking to in the last couple of days, I've been hearing a similar theme of just having a lot going on at the same time. And I wonder if that's the case for some of you. Like, you're wondering how you're getting so much done with all you have to do. And I think sometimes we create to walk in that way so that we can see what we can do, see what we can't do, see what our limits are, see what our boundaries are, see how good we are at maintaining them and all of that. As for today, we have a super flower blood moon. I don't know if any of you were young in the 1990s, but that would have been a very typical album title for a rock band. Say, have you heard super flower blood moon? I don't know where people get these things from. What I tune into, what I'm getting when I tune into this moon is, it is about expansion. Someone had written the other day, it was about opening the mind, but no, it feels different to that, because the mind for me is not a driver. The mind for me is a passenger, and vibration is the driver. And so what I get about this particular full moon is that we are being pushed to stretch and expand, because there is so much coming through each of us. Like our capacity to let it through has just got to get bigger because there's more coming through. More of what coming through? Opportunity, stuff we've asked for, support we said on a higher level, we said we'd give to other people. You know, I don't love the expression light worker, but I'm going to go with it for a minute. To mean those that step up and show up and make themselves available, right, to higher calling, right? Those people are used. You are all used. You are all made. This word's not coming today, but spirit, love, God, angels, whatever, sees available, open people that are willing, okay, consenting to receive energy and be bridges and so on, and we are used. And so we want to have a graceful daily life, right? Don't want to be pulled around and so on. So our ability to let that through without being knocked off course has to expand. And that's what I'm getting about this particular superpower blood moon. Okay. For myself, how I work and deal with all of that is through movement. Okay, and I write a lot. On a day like this, I would exercise a lot. So a friend on Leia, she had me call up and regarding a community project that we're doing, and she said, "Would you be willing to do a Feng Shui exercise?" She asked me, in support of what is happening. And what the exercise is, if any of you might like to try this, is intentionally moving from one place to another 27 things. So 27 is 3 multiples of 9. Okay, and she goes, you know, you could do it while you're folding laundry. And I'm like, I'm flattered you think I fold laundry, you know. I don't fold laundry. I mean, you have to wear it. Why would you fold it? Simple. Anyway. But it's a way of invoking movement, motion, and so on, which means it's not getting stuck, it's not getting caught, which brings me deftly to the subject of today. What we're all going to be doing here. So I call this in support of transition. The idea first came, or guidance first came a bit over a year ago. When, let's say, people were leaving the planet in a there's the essence of shock around it. I don't know that the numbers were any higher than any other year, but it was the essence of shock and unfairness and so on, and grieving families. That's what originally spurred this. I don't so much feel that intention now, but what I do wish to work with and to help move through us all is the energies of grief, the energies of stagnancy, because these things affect our mood, they affect our clarity of thought. These things contribute to heaviness. These things even contribute to the weather. I personally observe that. We can move that a little bit ourselves. So I guess that's you'll see that through the shock in grief. You'll see that through people who are feeling stuck in life and don't know how to move forwards. You'll see that through people that are grieving change, okay? Because life is going back to normal right now, isn't it? Going back to normal, because normal's a thing, right? And people are having an adjustment with that, a lot of resistance with that. This body of work is also to support the spirits, the departed beings, okay, that don't know where they are, and support would come to them at some point. But hey, I've heard it said that there is something like, what are numbers, this sort of thing, but something like 40 or 50 billion trapped spirits on this planet. I mean, that's crazy numbers. You could devote your life to it, lifetimes to it, and not scratch the surface there. We're doing this to move etheric and elemental debris. Okay, you ever walk through a building, a parking lot, library, Costco, and all of a sudden feel, ugh, right? That's discarded thought forms, ideas, emotions, moods. Oh, the freeway, for God's sake. all of this creative, originally creative energy that's slowed down and is just hanging around. We're going to move that as well. I also get something, you don't have to agree with this, I'm also getting something we're going to be supporting to move the side effects of some of these vaccinations, whatever that's about. So again, you can agree or disagree with any of that, but we're moving stuck energy, we're supporting it to transition. So how this is going to work, so I'd like you just to relax and go with this. Me just taking us into meditation in a moment, and we will be going to an etheric temple. I'm telling you that because there's many of these, also because when Lewis and I give the work for the summer solstice, it's been shared with us that there is a new etheric temple available to us all. I channeled the other day, and I think it was Joe Field. Joe Field? I'm losing track now. it was nice anyway. Whoever that was that came through shared that the etheric temple became available because there's enough people calling it forth. And so we've got a little group together tonight, don't we? And there's all sorts of little groups getting together across the world right now and creating a web and a grid and so on, which means more of this stuff can happen, which means that it can happen easier, which means we generally have an easier time on the planet, and the things we want to happen. That's the idea here. I will be using the shape of the Merkaba, and I'm just going to show you roughly what that looks like. My visualization is not my strongest skill, so you kind of see that, right? Got downward facing pyramid, three-sided pyramid, and an upward facing pyramid. And when I have you spin it, it will spin. It will spin. Okay. Just to give you a visual there. Our actual Merkaba field. Well, what is it? Is it Vitruvius? Someone nod if I'm getting this right. Is it Vitruvian Man that Leonardo da Vinci painted? No, blank faces. No, fine.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So that shape around Vitruvian Man is probably the closest thing I could give you to in classical literature, as it were, or art, to what the Merkaba looks like and how big it is. It does spin, ridiculously fast, light speed, and that is a form of dimensional transport for us. So I want to just give you that as a visual. If this doesn't work for you, then just imagine a sphere, all right? So the being that works, that I call anyway, I'm sure there's several, being that I call for this body of work is Archangel Azrael, a being that works with transition in different levels. All right, so let's take a breath together, please. Just gonna. From this point on, really nothing to see. I invite you to close your eyes. You can have your own experience. I will not be using music. This is intentionally a externally minimal work. And so we open in prayer. Blessed Mother, Father, God, Goddess, sweet essence of purity, sweetness, love, vitality. That within us, that without us, that which animates us, we call to that. Within us and around us, as we ground ourselves, each of us grounds ourselves. We connect to the earth below. We feel that, we know it, we recognize it, we own it. We feel that below us. We feel strong in our body, robust, whole, connected. And so above us, we connect with the Father Sky, the sacred masculine. You can connect with that as the sky or the sun, as you wish. And yet between both below and above, we are connecting the two, sacred conduit. I call to the love of the archangels to stand in the four corners around us, that each of us sits in clear, high frequency, safe, sacred space. I call this around all of us as one group. I call our higher selves as always, asking this aspect to lead us, calibrate us, attune us, refine us. I'm calling the very highest good of our time together this evening. And so in the name of the Christ I am the presence, I am the activity, calling the beloved Archangel Azrael to walk and sit and be with us every step of this journey. I'm grateful to each one of you that's chosen to give of some of your evening to do this work. We say thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen. So just for a moment, let us breathe naturally, easefully. We're not trying to make anything happen. Just beginning to vibrationally feel and acknowledge that there are several around you connected in the same purpose as you. Let your stomach relax, please. This is not something that you can get wrong. In fact, the very air of gratitude sings around you with appreciation in the foreknowledge that so much and so many will be freed and released tonight because of you. And breathe, and breathe. Breathe comfortable in your body. Bring a smile to your face. How deftly a smile can influence the energy field. How your day can change from that. Just smile. And so now around you, yes, let us call forth and acknowledge the field of the Merkaba. In truth, the Merkaba is always there. The downward facing pyramid that descends from around your shoulders to around a foot below your feet. The upward facing pyramid that starts around your knees and rises to a peak around a foot above your head. In your mind's eye, with your eyes closed, just see this shape around you, this beautiful geometry. And our Mother Earth has the same one. Now these two pyramids spin in opposite directions. So just see that happening now. And if you struggle with visualization, just know it is happening. And allow it to spin faster and faster and faster until it becomes a blur. As if you stand within a bubble. Breathe. In your mind's eye, see all of us here connected on this call today. All of us in our own bubbles. As together we rise into the air in our bubbles as we set off on our journey together. As we leave the space we're in and we travel together. Traveling at the speed of light. Does not matter where we are going yet. Just know that you are in good company, appreciated and supported every millisecond of this journey. Far, far we journey. Blending the cusps of dimension. Some of you may be remarking on how familiar this feels. As you continue to breathe, and you breathe. And in the mind's eye, a vast building comes into your line of sight. A huge cathedral-like temple, glowing as we all come closer and closer and slow down and start descending. Closer to the ground as we touch the ground together. Now let us all step out of our Merkaba field and begin walking towards this vast building. A grand staircase awaits us, and let us rise this staircase together, walking towards grand doors. We're met at the doors by two beautiful angelic figures, twice the size of us. They open the doors and beckon us in. Breathe. Breathe and feel the shift in energy as you walk in. And in we gather and stand now. In a building, an atria, the size of a baseball stadium. It goes up as far as the eye can see. Activity taking place on different levels. In mid-air, it would seem. And in the middle of this room is a dazzling white fire. Around this fire, you will see crystalline chairs. Please walk towards one of these chairs and sit down. There is one for each of us, that we may sit in circle. You may notice when you sit down that it feels almost warm. And behind you, 10 angels of the elementals stand in loving support. We gather now in the Temple of Ascension. Breathe. You have all been here before. Into the center of our circle, towards the fire, walks a vast being, 10 times higher than any in this space. This is beloved Azrael, almost blindingly bright to look at. Azrael encourages us to take a breath to the chest, to the heart, to breathe from here. You will see and feel a glow in your chest. As you look around the circle, you will see a glow in all of our chests. Azrael begins to weave a stream of light through each of us. This will now spin clockwise for the duration of our time in this temple. Breathe as it spins and spins and spins. And on each cycle of this stream of energy, you are being cleansed. Just allow it. For as much as you receive, you are indeed giving. Giving by your time, your presence, your focus. All you need to do is breathe. And as this stream of energy flows round and round and round, so the glow in your chest expands, and we each connect to the fire that is in the center of this room. The fire grows in size to an enormous column, an enormous vertical column. Reaching all the way up to the top of this building, beyond sight. This column of vibrant light grows in size until it reaches your feet, but no further than that. Far up high in the corners of this vast room, Azrael opens portals to allow the density that we are supporting to alchemize, to enter this space and be directed immediately into this column of light, the ascension flame. Breathe. Breathe and know that you are doing magnificent work. You are holding beautiful space. Breathe, breathe. From each corner, from each side of this temple, high above us, flows the density of stuck energy. Once vital, once useful, now flows into the flame from all sides, from all over our world. It comes from war-torn areas. It comes from areas of illness. And know that as we do this and as you breathe, there is real-time alleviation. We are a strong group. We can do a lot. Beloved Azrael opens up more portals to allow those stuck, caught in the astral realm to also join the flame and go into the light. Breathe as they come and are guided deftly into this beautiful energy, knowing that as you hold space for this, and you do for others, it is being done for you. And as you breathe and as you allow, you notice that you are asking nothing of this experience. Here in willingness. This is unconditional love. You are made of it. You are born of it. You hunger and thirst for it. Azrael sees our capability and raises the diameter of the column of light further that we now sit within it. Allow your backs to straighten some. This is a beautiful opportunity for us all. While far above us, density is leaving the earth realm. Not in fear, but in love, and with love, by love, and for love. We near the end of this work in the temple. Keep allowing your stomach to be relaxed. The last remaining fragments and filaments of the elemental morass flow into the flame. The astral beings as well. And with this, the column begins to shrink in diameter from all sides. You will feel it move out of your body. Slowly and surely, beloved Azrael decreases the size of the column until it returns to the form of a flame once more. The stream of energy that has been running through us all begins to cease, and we take a breath. Beloved Azrael bows to each of us, for he sees us the same as he. Let yourself acknowledge him in your own way. In your mind's eye, turn to face the loving beings that have held space for you behind you, and acknowledge them also. In your mind's eye now, let us raise from our chairs to walk out of the Temple of Ascension. With appreciation for one another, of course. The doors open for us and we walk out. We descend the staircase, knowing that we can return willingly to this temple any time we like. Together we call forth around us the Merkaba field once again. Feel this glowing around you as together we elevate into the air. We pick up speed as we begin to travel back to our point of origin. Feeling and sensing and smelling and hearing the room that you began in around you now. We start to feel our body, and I will count backwards from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breaths to the chest, to the stomach, to the third eye, to the coccyx. You might wish to gently rub your cheeks, your forehead. Drink if you have it. Let me find the words here. It's a simple work. I try and keep it simple. It's always a little bit different. I want to just say, don't underestimate how much you've just done just because it's simple. Sometimes I think if you ever like find a solution, you're suddenly able to do something, it's because someone else or some other group of people just did something like what we just did and just scooped away the distraction and confusion from us. Just saying, just saying. Let me see. I've got to unmute you. Lewis, are you there?
I'm here, sir.
Hey there. Hey, would you mind, I'm going to spotlight you in a second. I'm sorry, I didn't give you any warning. Would you mind speaking to the solstice work we're going to do?
I'll be happy to, but no need to spotlight me. In fact, I suggest everyone, if you have the option, put yourself on gallery view so you can see all, how many is it? 24 people on this phone call. And take a minute to notice how bright everyone is, because you can't do this work and not get yourself blessed at every vibrational level. So just pretty cool. So in terms of this upcoming summer solstice work, it's going to be on Monday, 6/21. I believe it's from, it's either 6 to 8 or 7 to 9. It's either Eastern or Standard. The work is a class called Path of the Mystic, with mystic in quotes.
That was my idea.
Well, Joshua gets full credit for that. Yeah, we did a metaphysical conversation on protection, and that was in quotes at my behest, because protection is a little misunderstood. And certainly that can be said to be true with the concept of a mystic. So we're going to talk about what is mysticism, how does it fit in to those who wish to understand more of why they're here and get on with it, and yet also weave it into a successful, joyful, abundant Western world life. It turns out those two are not at odds. They flow together. The Aquarian frequency supports this little thing called integration. We no longer have to head off to the Himalayas to find our mystic truth. It's going to come to us. And to that end, we're also going to talk, and just very excited about this. And yes, Joshua, you did bring through beloved Jophiel, the Archangel of Wisdom and representative of the Divine Feminine, when we had a session, I guess on Monday, and talked about this brand new in the sense of accessible to incarnated humanity, at least in this age, a temple of wisdom that's in the western part of the United States. It actually has been with the earth for a very long time. It goes back to Atlantis and Lemuria. We'll be talking a lot about that temple, what it represents, how it connects to the Grid for Illumination work that we started a few months ago. We'll be getting into, now that we're past the 12/21/20 gates, and this tremendous energy of the Buddhic consciousness, the Christ consciousness, the unfolded humanity, what does that really mean practically? You know, we're going to have a meditation with Jophiel, this golden ray of illumination. We're going to talk about the temple. We have lots of handouts, lots of good energy, lots of good information. Joshua will be sharing some special music that I know he's going to be working on. We'll see how that works out in terms of when you get it, but that's in the pipeline. He'll also bring through a message from whoever wants to talk to the group. It should be very dynamic. The summer solstice is energetically the most powerful day in the hemisphere in which it occurs. So I encourage you, at least a week before 6/21, imagine that you are preparing for some kind of spiritual event, pilgrimage, connection, and do whatever you're led to do to be more grounded, more centered, more open, more joyful, more quote unquote ready, and just trust your own inner guidance for that. It will be worth it.
Beautiful.
Will that take care of you, sir?
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right. No, I really don't have much more to say. So let me just unmute everyone. And it's really and sincerely thank you all for showing up, for making this easier. I mean, yeah, it's something I could just get on and do, but a lot will get anchored. It's more enjoyable. It's easier. It's more fluid with willing people. So thank you all very, very much, very, very much. What even day is it? It's Wednesday, isn't it? I'm losing track. Well, I'm wishing you a wonderful rest of the week, everyone.
Happy Memorial Day.
It's Memorial Day, isn't it? Memorial Day on Sunday.
On Monday.
Day? Sorry. It's not Memorial Day where I'm going.
No.
Where are you going?
Going to England.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Are you going to
Safe
bring
travel.
wonderful trip?
Am I what?
Are you going to bring Prince Harry with you?
You know, I've started, so I'm going to have to finish. So, all right, this is an odd thing I'm about to share with you all, but my father has dementia. Just had to move him to a, it's going to get relevant in a minute, move him to permanent care. And so he doesn't, doesn't know who me or my brother is. I had the thought, because people say, oh, you should send him photographs and so on. I was like, maybe I should send him a photo of Prince William and tell him that's who I am.
You should.
That's true.
Try it. See what happens.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah, his boy's done well.
You won't see his son very often, will he? Oh, well, he will on TV. Oh, there's my son on TV.
Oh, no, I would be Prince William. I wouldn't be Harry. That's just how I swing.
Good
So-
call. That's a good, very good idea. Oh, goodness.
I haven't offended anyone. It's
No. No.
Why are you going there? Just to see him?
Well, I haven't seen my family for a couple of years.
Wow.
Just with how everything's been, and so as much for the kids as me. So yeah, that's my fun and games.
Travels.
So why don't we just take a breath together, everyone? As we close the intention, we'll close the energy. Make sure that you all go free and clear from this work tonight. We thank the guides, we thank each of you, we thank the blessed presence, the Mother, Father, God, Goddess within us all. We say thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Joshua.
Thank you very
you.
much.
For doing
Thank
this.
you.
So much.
God bless everyone.
Safe trip.
Josh.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good night.